The room went quiet, faster than anyone expected. Sitting in front of the Bahrain press corps, Max Verstappen didn't look angry. He didn't look defensive. He looked calm, which somehow made the words land even harder. "This isn't really Formula One anymore," he said. "It's management, not driving." For a four-time world champion, fresh off another dominant season, those weren't throwaway comments. They were a warning. Verstappen described the upcoming generation of cars as something closer to an energy-saving exercise than a pure racing machine. He even joked that Formula E was at least honest about what it is. Then came the line that sent a ripple through the paddock. "Once you've already won everything," he said, "it's not always necessary to keep going." That wasn't frustration. That was leverage. Because Verstappen isn't just another driver complaining about regulations. He is the sport's central pillar. And everyone in that room knew his contract contains performance-based exit clauses. Clauses that could make him a free agent. But here's the part no headline mentioned. Less than 24 hours before that press conference, Verstappen had done something on track that forced rival teams into emergency meetings. His engineers watched him unlock a braking and downshifting approach so aggressive, other teams tried to copy it overnight, and it worked. He topped the timing sheets by nearly half a second. Not with qualifying tricks, not with empty fuel tanks, but with a technique that exploited the very energy management rules he claimed to hate. That contradiction is the heart of this story. A driver openly questioning the future of the sport, while simultaneously being the one most capable of mastering it. To understand why those two things are connected, you first need to understand just how radical Formula One's 2026 reset really is. Because this isn't a normal regulation change, it's a fundamental rewrite of what driving fast even means. Formula One changes rules all the time, but 2026 is different. This isn't an evolution, it's a demolition and rebuild. For the first time in decades, the chassis, aerodynamics, power unit, fuel, tires, and sporting regulations are all being rewritten simultaneously. Even senior figures inside the paddock have admitted they've never seen a shift this large. The headline change lives inside the power unit. The balance between combustion and electrical power flips almost entirely. Instead of roughly 80% engine and 20% hybrid, the new cars move toward a near 50-50 split. The electric motor alone will deliver close to 470 horsepower, but there's a catch, and it changes everything. The MGU-H, the component that previously harvested energy automatically from turbo exhaust gases, is gone, completely removed. That means all usable electrical energy now comes from one place, the brakes. Every joule must be harvested by the driver through braking technique, lift and coast judgment, and timing. The battery itself is limited to roughly 4 megajoules. At full deployment, it empties in about 11 seconds. On circuits like Baku, a full straight lasts longer than that. Drivers will literally run out of power before the braking zone, so they'll recharge, then deploy again, then recharge again. 10 to 15 cycles per lap, all while managing tire temperature, brake balance, and reduced aerodynamic grip. And that's before you add active aerodynamics. DRS is gone. Instead, both front and rear wings switch between high downforce corner modes and low drag straight modes, available to every driver on every lap. Overall downforce drops by as much as 30%. If you enjoy these deeper Formula One stories, the kind that go beyond stats and actually explore drivers, history, and mindset, make sure you're subscribed. These videos connect together, and the next one adds an important layer to this discussion. Now back to the topic. Fuel loads shrink, cars get lighter, lift and coast becomes unavoidable, even in qualifying. Several drivers have already said it out loud. This doesn't feel like racing, but here's the uncomfortable truth. These rules don't eliminate driver influence. They amplify it, just not in the way most drivers are comfortable with. And that's exactly why Verstappen's threat to walk away suddenly sounds less convincing. On paper, Verstappen is locked into Red Bull until 2028. It's one of the longest and richest contracts in Formula One history. In reality, it's far more flexible. Buried inside the deal are performance-based exit clauses that effectively give Verstappen an escape window every summer. If he falls outside certain championship positions by the mid-season break, he can walk away. No buyout, no negotiation. For 2026, that threshold reportedly tightens to outside the top 2. That's not speculation. Even senior figures inside the team have acknowledged the logic. If the new engine project fails, they cannot realistically hold him, and Red Bull knows the risk. The team has already undergone massive internal change, leadership shifts, technical departures, a brand new power unit developed in-house for the first time. Nothing about this phase is guaranteed, which is why Verstappen's comments landed so hard. He isn't threatening out of frustration, he's stating a fact. His future depends entirely on competitiveness. At the same time, he's building alternatives, endurance racing, Le Mans ambitions, Nürburgring appearances under aliases, Sim racing championships won on the same weekends as real Grands Prix. This isn't a retirement fantasy, it's an active parallel career. And yet, for all the talk of exit routes, something doesn't add up, because while Verstappen complains publicly, his engineers are privately saying something else entirely. They believe these regulations reward one thing above all else: mental bandwidth. And once you see what Verstappen did in Bahrain testing, that belief starts to make terrifying sense. During the first days of Bahrain testing, engineers noticed something unusual in the data. Verstappen was braking differently. At a corner where most drivers downshifted conservatively, he dropped an extra gear, sometimes all the way to first. That higher engine speed under braking allowed the electric motor to harvest more kinetic energy. More harvesting meant more deployment. On the straights, Verstappen simply had more electrical power for longer. His top speeds weren't coming from bravery, they were coming from energy availability. Rival teams tried to copy it immediately, most couldn't. Question for you: if Ayrton Senna were racing in today's Formula 1, do you think he would adapt to the modern, data-driven era, or would he try to bend the sport back toward pure instinct? Tell me what you think. I'll reply to the most interesting answers. The technique increases rear instability, mechanical stress, and cognitive load. You have to manage brake pressure, steering correction, downshifts, harvesting rates, and balance, all while approaching corners at over 300 kilometers per hour. It's not about courage, it's about spare capacity. Several drivers admitted the Red Bull looked a step ahead in hybrid usage. Analysts pointed out that Verstappen wasn't just fast, he was repeatable. Lap after lap, the same behavior, the same outcome. And this is where the irony peaks. The very rules Verstappen criticizes as anti-racing reward the exact skill he possesses more than anyone else: the ability to think, process, and adjust at full speed without losing performance. That's why Red Bull's powertrain leadership has been so open about it. They believe Verstappen's mind is a performance advantage in itself. Which brings us to the final paradox: why the regulations he dislikes most may be the ones that make him unbeatable. Verstappen hates managing a battery. He hates lifting on qualifying laps. He hates feeling constrained. He hates driving anything that feels artificial, but he hates losing more. And that's the paradox at the center of 2026. These regulations don't reward flamboyance, they reward clarity, planning, execution, the ability to drive at the limit while still having mental space left over. Verstappen has said it himself: many drivers can be fast, but they're operating at maximum capacity just to do it. The best drivers are just as quick, with room to think. That room is exactly what these cars demand, which is why, despite all the talk of freedom, endurance racing, and exit clauses, everything we know about Verstappen points to the same conclusion: if the car can win, he will stay. If the fight is there, he will take it. Because walking away is easy, winning again is harder, and Verstappen has never chosen the easy path. So when the lights go out in Melbourne, don't ask whether Max Verstappen still wants Formula 1. Ask whether Formula 1 is ready for what he does best, next. If this comparison made you think, there's another video you'll want to watch next. In What Senna Would Really Think of Max Verstappen, we step away from hype and look at the comparison from a human and historical angle. What Ayrton Senna actually valued in a racing driver, and how much of that you can truly see in Max Verstappen today. It's not about who's better, it's about whether they're driven by the same things.